Day 8. Crying out to God. Today's story is not Jehoshaphat's shining moment. We'll come to that victorious battle in a couple of chapters. But it's mistakes and failures in Jehoshaphat's life that help refine him to be a godlier leader in the future. So, brace yourself, it gets a little embarrassing for Jehoshaphat. Despite being blatantly warned by the one true prophet of God that they would be defeated, Ahab and Jehoshaphat team up and go to battle with the Arameans. Listen to what Ahab says to Jehoshaphat before the battle: "I will enter the battle in disguise, but you wear your royal robes." V29. Trusting Ahab had his back, Jehoshaphat foolishly wears all his king-like garments into it. It's like wearing a huge red and white bullseye on your back or having an enormous neon sign pointing that says, "Aim at me, I'm the king." Seriously, how could anyone be so ignorant? Smartly, the king of Aram tells his men to target the king of Israel. The enemy thinks Jehoshaphat is Ahab, so they start attacking him. Realizing he is probably going to die, Jehoshaphat cries out to God. Pause for a second here and picture this scene in your mind. Instead of fighting harder, relying on his own weapons, or relying on his men, Jehoshaphat screams out to the one who could actually change his circumstance. This through desperation. He knew he was about to meet his maker and he wasn't ready yet. Hearing his cries, God helps Jehoshaphat. God drew them away from him, for when the chariot commanders saw that he was not the king of Israel, they stopped pursuing him. V31-32, did you catch that? After Jehoshaphat cried out to God, his heavenly Father caused his enemies to stop pursuing him. Just like any concerned parent will run to their child when he or she is crying out for them, God cares for his children. Meanwhile, dressed like a common soldier, Ahab thinks he's outwitted everyone. He had convinced Jehoshaphat to dress like him in a battle and was hoping Jehoshaphat would be killed. But a stray arrow strikes Ahab between the sections of his armor. Just like Micaiah had predicted, Ahab dies on the battlefield. At the end of the battle, Jehoshaphat barely escapes with his life and the knowledge to seek God first in any situation. Can you imagine the look on Micaiah's face when he heard the news? I'd be saying, "I told you so." We'll find out tomorrow that Jehoshaphat will be getting his "I told you so" moment. Questions. 1. Why do you think Jehoshaphat trusted Ahab so blindly? 2. Have you ever called out to God in extreme desperation? What happened? 3. What lesson did you learn from Jehoshaphat's failure today?
So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat the king of Judah went up to Ramoth-Gilead. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, I will disguise myself, and will go to the battle, but put thou on thy robes. So the king of Israel disguised himself, and they went to the battle. Now the king of Syria had commanded the captains of the chariots that were with him, saying, Fight ye not with small or great, save only with the king of Israel. And it came to pass, when the captains of the chariots saw Jehoshaphat, that they said, It is the king of Israel. Therefore they compassed about him to fight. But Jehoshaphat cried out, and the Lord helped him, and God moved them to depart from him. For it came to pass that when the captains of the chariots perceived that it was not the king of Israel, they turned back again from pursuing him. And a certain man drew a bow at a venture, and smote the king of Israel between the joints of the harness. Therefore he said to his chariot man, Turn thine hand, that thou mayest carry me out of the host, for I am wounded. And the battle increased that day. Howbeit, the king of Israel stayed himself up in his chariot against the Syrians until the even. And about the time of the sun going down, he died.